it's all relatively the same in the sense of the pressure. So you're still trying to bring your hips over theirs, but for this Toreando style, when I catch, I want to be low versus high up here. This is okay, like I said, in other scenarios, but in this one for the drill, so we can be fast and switch sides to the next side. I want to stay low, just work through my feet and shelf. Okay, 1 minute each. 3, 1, 2, 3. On the bell.
3, 2, 1, go.
I cut carbs and I don't have to gas costs. It's crazy.
3, 2, 1, rest. 3, 2, 1, go.
Too hard on that one.
3, 2, 1, rest.
Alright, going into the cup pass position again. This should all be relatively familiar with you guys now in the warm-up. We're cutting our partner off to his side like we're going for a knee cut. So I'm going to pin the outside leg to the ground, and my inside hand is going to be on the hip crease, but I need to be inside the leg. So whatever angle I need to cut, if I'm too far around the back, his knee shield is going to defend it. So I need to cut an angle to get my elbow inside. This only works when I'm winning in the inside battle here. So the next step is to clear the inside of the head and switch his position over here. Again, if I don't cut enough of an angle and his knee shield's on the inside, I know I gotta cut up to the outside a little bit more to get my elbow or my arm back in so I can control his hip line. Put my head on the inside, cut him over to the other side. Swim in, you take a knee cut, come back over. Partner on bottom, make sure you're doing a good job framing across the shoulder just like Matt is here. It's kind of like a crossface here. Same thing, if I'm too far out here, disconnect, right? The drill's not going to work. So I want to cut this angle enough that he can hold my frame good. Exactly, and then I can swim in, come across, cutting an angle to make sure this frame is strong on me. If you guys are too far, or too fine a line, Matt can. The drill's not going to work. He's got stuff that's not going to work for you guys. Okay, ready? On 3, 1, 2, 3. On the bell.
3, 2, 1, go.
I couldn't find. They'll be back, don't worry. This, yeah, I've seen that movie. Oh, God
Three,
damn.
2, 1. Rest.
Alright. So getting into our game for the drill. Same rules apply as last week. I can only touch Matt's head with the outside, or sorry, with the outside hand. So if I cut to my right, this is my outside. Cut to my left, my outside. Does that make sense? This would be inside. Up in here, this would be inside. So, point of the drill, purpose of the drill, Matt can do whatever he wants to avoid or to protect his head from me making just contact with his head. So, we go in here. It's not a roll, just slap bump anyways. When we start going into, I gotta start working on changing directions. And I just want to get to the outside hand, get to his head. Good. He's framing with his hands. He's using his feet. Good. Good. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if I can get to Matt's head, then I can start going into my cross-face passing, force him to run. The inside hand making connection with the head does no good. So it's always outside when we're trying to protect. Like I mentioned last week, I want you guys to start getting comfortable with people getting past a certain point where you're now having to recover from here. So yeah, you can either shrimp or Matt gets past me, I can start going into inversion. Matt's gonna bring pressure, he's gonna try to touch my head, and I can just keep him away here. So again, it's not always a matter of as Matt's trying to pass, I'm trying to keep him in front of me. He's gotta get past. I can start working my inversion game, my sweeps. Exactly. It's not the end of the world if they get here. Fight's not over. He can't touch my head from here. We got sweeps with all the good stuff. So I want you guys to start getting comfortable with people getting over you and past your hips. They're not past your guard yet. They haven't controlled it. They're just past your hips. Big deal. But partner on top, keep trying to go for that control of the head and go from there. Okay? Partner up. 1 minute each. On three. 1, 2, 3. On the bell.
3, 2, 1. Go.
Oh, he worked. sense, guys. As far as, you know, a guard pass is basically getting past your hips to a control position. In a point scenario, they're not getting points for getting past the hips. They're getting points for control. So again, if I do get past Matt's hips here, whether it's on foot or knee cut, there's no points exchange. I start coming down, even touching the head, there's no points exchange. But that's never the reason for you to stop fighting for position. So again, the whole premise of the drill, if I get past Matt on a knee cut style pass, and I get the head, then I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm stopping the hips from coming up. I'm stopping his head from either creating space away or even coming under. I can frame with my elbow, and then we get into my points or just a better position if it's a sub move. That's the whole purpose for the head thing. They get control of the head, they're one step closer to securing that position. Prior to that, me getting here means nothing to the point system or to the control system. So again, you don't have to start panicking and just shrimping. So Matt just starts shrimping to create space. There's no reason to panic here, because again, I can just control. So rather than trying to get away, this is where I'd rather come under, whether it's through inversion. Yeah, exactly. Then now I'm playing to my own game, not to their game, or worst case scenario, turning and running to get your back taken. So that's what I'm trying to instill in you guys is once they get past the hips, it's not the end of the world. You know, crap, I just got to space, 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 space. And then they're just going to consume you. They're going to get control of your head, and they're going to consume you, okay? Make sense? All right, get some water. Take a little minute to yourself. On three. 1, 2, 3. So that's a good question, and that's actually high. Part of today's lesson, high risk. This is a little bit of strike. Okay, guys, we're going to go into guard, closed guard. The lesson will come later in class, but for starters, you know, it's kind of nice as instructors to put you guys through positional sparring before we give you guys the answers to those problems. We kind of get to see, okay, you know, one of the big concerns is blank. We'll make you guys positional spar for mount, and then we'll show you mount escapes, or mount control. And so on and so on. Make you guys positional spar from the back, watch everyone get choked, and then show you guys the defense. So it's kind of that, you don't know what you don't know, and then you make those mistakes on your own, and then we can correct those mistakes. So we're going to do the same thing, or at least the same premise, from closed guard, but it's going to be with striking now. So closed guard without striking it's kind of, I don't want to say a stall, but when you're on your back, you take that little break, and then you can start attacking wrists and whatnot. But when they're striking involved and you're on your back, not a lot of room for breaks. But the cool thing is those strikes coming from the opponent above tend to open things up for you as far as attacks go, okay? Because they typically don't just try and break your guard from there, they're trying to punch you, which gives you an opportunity to use jiu-jitsu. When someone's just heavy on your hips and posturing up, it's kind of hard to do jiu-jitsu on that person, okay? So I'm going to pass out, or actually come over here, guys, and collect a pair of gloves for yourself. Everyone is going to wear gloves. And we're going to positional spar from closed guard. If you have a mouthpiece, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
If you don't, it'll be a good idea tomorrow.
If you don't, you may talk with a whistle. closed guard. This is not MMA sparring, and this is not an MMA class. So don't turn this into an MMA match. What's that? Well, because he's the one that he's bare knuckle fighter over there. Okay. So Matt comes in. These gloves are just a friendly reminder of what could happen if he was going to punch you with a full strike. So both you guys are striking if you both have gloves. But again, they're just a reminder that you're going to be in a vulnerable position from time to time. So if I sit here and I'm trying to just break Matt down with underhooks, he's going to tap me in the face. You can tap a little bit hard at your own discretion with your partner, but let's not break any skin. So it's up to me to control these strikes. If I had my own gloves, I can add my own strikes as well, but I want to ultimately win this battle with jiu-jitsu. Okay? One more time, I'm going to repeat that. I want to ultimately win this battle using jiu-jitsu. I'm not trying to knock Matt out, and Matt's not trying to knock me out. He's just trying to remind me that if you don't use all your factory senses, your face is going to get touched. But again, I'm not trying to sweep Matt just to get on top and just start reining it in. I want to use my jiu-jitsu to finish this match. Okay? Does that make sense? Is everyone clear? All right. I want everyone smiling after these drills. And if your feet are a little bloody, that's okay, but at least you're smiling. So let me see what kind of groups we got. Partner up, get into your closed guard position. Oh, they get one on. Oh, I thought they were getting Zach Ponder, you get to play by your own rules. Okay.
Just like every other day.
2-minute round, so plenty of time.
Is top guy not using jiu-jitsu?
No, top guy, you're going to still attempt to pass. That's still priority numero uno, but get through your passing sequence with strikes.
Where?
Right, yeah, so next is person on bottom, defend yourself from the strikes. Use those defense to your advantage and sweep or submit. Okay? Once there's a major transition in control, top and bottom, then reset. It's not a live match from here, so I still want resets after submissions and sweeps. Person on top, if you pass and you get to that side control, give them a couple touches to the face and then reset. Okay? Just remind them that you passed their guard. On the bell.
Three, two, one, go. 1, go.
Let's go. Yeah! Punch right in the face now. Right there. Right there. Yeah. We got spit coming out. We got spit coming out. 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Yeah, punch him, Josh. Right on the noggin. There you go. Get back down. Get back down. Mess up. Reset.
3, 2, 1, rest.
Switch partners. Switch partners. Switch partners. Switch partners. Hey, this is a whole different ballgame when there's just little strikes involved, right? You guys are gassed out. That's okay. This is normal. And again, these are little strikes. Now imagine turning the volume up to an MMA style class where your coach is like it's his head or your head, right? That's going to elevate your energy use there. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Energy management is definitely going to be key on these movements, but don't think of that as stalling to catch your breath. It's just where you're putting yourself in a position to not get punched in the face. Person on top, again, use the strikes to open up the guard passing avenue. So rather than just trying to cut past like we normally would, use those strikes to open things up. The person on bottom, use those strikes more for sweeps and submissions. I see a lot of you guys trying to stay in what I call is that death beat, where you're just inside their guard and you're just trying to come in. And you think, because I can punch, I can just go straight through the wall. Still use the same angles we use in the warm-up drills with the step ladder and the Toriando. Use those same angles with your feet, guys. Keep changing directions, especially with strikes. Right now, you guys are just trying to cut through that block wall because you think I gave you a sledgehammer to get through it. Well, why not try going around or over it? Use that sledgehammer as something to step on to get over the wall, rather than just using it to break it, okay? Consider that kind of into the thought process in the next couple rounds, okay? Same rules apply, guys. On the bell, 20 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, you guys been targeted before? Scared, Brady.
3, 2, 1, go.
get you?
3,
Did I get you?
2, 1, go. Three, two, one, rest.
Your partner, come around. We're ready to talk. Okay, guys. Same thing. Two more rounds, that's it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my God.
2, 1.
Last round, guys and gals.
Three, two, one. Rest.
Right, that one over here. Go to shocker. It's like a stutter. Yeah. Yeah, everything's called light. So it's on. Yeah.
3,
So, do me a favor, guys. Velcro your gloves together so they stay in their pairs. We'll spray them with some Lysol. If you guys want to line them on the edge of the mat here, and then get them sprayed. And get yourself a little bit of water.
I like the huffing and puffing because it means I'm so fat and out of shape, but
You got cardio.
I don't feel as bad. It's still bearable. Except for you gotta tell yourself, Josh. Yeah.
What did you say today?
Every encouragement is okay. My mom told me I'm special. I gotta do my part.
Punching just doesn't allow you to stop. First 2 seasons here, over 12.
It's hard to hold hands. That's today's Saturday move. Yeah, it's gonna be up and down. A lot.
Okay. All right, so we all got our wind back underneath us. I'm sure you guys noticed a number of things during this drill, but it's also hard to have epiphanies when you don't know the answer. So I'm hopefully here to provide those epiphanies. So when we are more MMA specific on our training, the rules change because there's a clock and a referee. But in the street, there is no clock, there is no ref. So you see a lot of MMA stuff where they'll just come here and play this game. Okay? Matt can't punch me from here, and I've got posture broken. I've got high control of the hips, and I've got high control of the shoulder. If Matt wants to posture up, he's got to carry all my weight plus gravity. And if he's going to punch me, they're like these little pitter-patters, right? So again, if I'm in an MMA sanctioned bout, and I see a minute, 2 minutes left on the clock, and I'm getting my ass kicked, these guys will just stay here, and they'll stall the match out, okay? That's not what I want to show you guys. That's not what I want to deem as effective, in the sense that
you're not on top, and you're not in control of a submission or a limb. So that is, in my opinion, in a street fight, you have moments to slow the fight down to your pace, but you cannot stay there. So this isn't terrible if I need to get this guy under control for the moment that I need to then go into my attacks. But I can't sit here and wait for a clock to expire and the rest say, okay, go to your corners. Because in the street, you don't know how long that clock is until some innocent bystander comes through to help or law enforcement shows up. So staying here for the duration of a street fight, not a great idea. Getting here, it's not the end of the world. You can slow a guy down. You can get your bearings about you. If you're rocked, you took one to the head, you need to collect yourself. This isn't a bad spot to be to get that collection. But you cannot ride a clock that you don't know how much time is left on it. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So from here, we're not reaching that point where I have to come in, scoop my double unders in control. This guy's in control, I'm in control what I'm gonna do, he's in control what he's gonna do. If you guys noticed, or if you didn't notice, hopefully again I can let these light bulbs start clicking. The more space I gave him, the more power he can generate in his punches, okay? So as soon as I backed away, in normal jiu-jitsu, okay fine, if I back away, I start setting things up. Here, if I give up too much space, it gives him the amount of range he needs to build his power up, and I can't catch things. He's just gonna break through my guard and punch me in the face anyways, or break my fingers. So, in the range when you're close, we can start going straight to what is lethal, his hands in this instance. So I'm trying my best to control wrist. Or, even better, thumb line, just like when we attack the back stuff here. I get more control of the whole extremity versus here. But with gloves, it's a whole different story. You can't get the knuckle line, right? We're controlling the wrist. So, in this instance, when we do this drill again and again, we're controlling the wrist, okay? When you control the wrist, you take frames away. If he pulls the frame away, I have the ability to strike myself or start working into my submission. Okay, so you're almost kind of baiting the attack. He wants me to let go so he can in turn punch me, right? And I'm gonna start chalking frames. So first line of defense, I go to the wrist. Once the wrist breaks, I gotta go to the next line of defense, which is the elbow, okay? And then last is the shoulder. But I need to start cutting angles when I start attacking certain parts of that step ladder. So the shoulder, I need an angle. If I'm square spine to spine, and he's able to break and go for a punch, the next frame is the elbow to stop the pit. Again, your biggest enemy is the hand. And of course the elbow too, in other instances. But the elbow is being controlled by my hand on the bicep. If I can't control the wrist and get him to off balance, I need to go to the next step. 1, 2 is the elbow here. Okay, same thing. He can't punch me if I'm controlling the elbow. You go to load up to punch with the elbow, man. Good. If that fails, and he's gotten past 1, 2, and now it's angle on the third. So if he goes to punch, I can't stay square here because it's just gonna get through. So I gotta start cutting my angles to control it. So it's a lot like when we were trying to stop cut passes or controlling the shoulder rotation. Okay, does that make sense, guys? It's a lot of information coming your way. Okay, so now we go into an attack. What I like to do as I'm trying to defend the hands from him posturing up, I gotta control his posture, so I gotta ride up a little bit higher on his back. If I'm here low, and he can start standing up to generate, it doesn't matter how much control I have on the hand, if he stands up to generate force, he's gonna get what he wants. So I just ride a little bit higher on the lats and off the hip. So now it's harder for him to posture up. Matt goes to posture up. I can use my legs to drive him back to the mat. Okay? Now I'm on my way to the armbar. Okay? So we're on both wrists here. Okay? I've come off the bottom of the hips and I've come up higher like I'm attaching to the lats. I'm above, the hips are free at this moment here. So I can start going into my angle cutting. So I've got wrist to wrist. I pass one wrist to about the center of my sternum or just over my sternum. And now I can start using my opposite leg to break his posture down, to trap the opposite arm control. So I start kicking this leg up like I'm gonna thump him in the back of the head with my heel. But I'm just driving his posture down and I'm maintaining wrist control of the arm in an arm bar. So from here, we can go 2-on-1 with the wrist and kick it over for the break. or we could scoop under to give it more elevation of his hips to rise higher than his head, so his posture definitely isn't coming up. And I swing the leg over, and then I can go my toe one and go for the break. Okay? So again, we go into our thought process of what is our biggest concern is getting punched in the face at this moment. It's not so much the guard pass, it's getting punched in the face. So I need to control his posture from creating that zone to create power for the strike. So I come up off the hips and I get a little bit higher on the lats, the back, okay? Control both wrists. I pass the wrist that I want to armbar across my sternum, and I start my movement with my head is going to in turn help my hips turn and get my opposite leg of the armbar to come up through his armpit into the back of his head. Okay? So I'm chalking down. That's downward pressure is your best friend right here. This one encompasses the shoulder, the front of the shoulder here, and this pressure alone should prevent him from posturing up. Okay? But from here again, we're 2-on-1, pass the leg over. We have to keep our angle perpendicular. I don't need to look at Matt's face on this side. So I don't need to bring my head all the way back over there. Is he gonna tap? Is he gonna tap? I want to stay as perpendicular as possible, so this force can drive straight down and allow my hips to drive straight up and get there. Okay? So one more time. We're in a punching scenario, no gloves, we got our gloves off. I'm controlling the wrist, now I control the hips, I get higher on the back, and now I can start feeding this arm across my sternum, and I can start cutting my angle. And to the back, I chalk down, I encompass or I cover the shoulder on the far side with that knee, and then from here as I drive down, this leg can come over, and I want to stay in perpendicular of this angle. I don't need to look at that. I don't need to see through the ear hole. I want to see right into the armpit here, and I'm going to drive down, this one down and forward, and I go for my break. Good. Okay? So partner up. Again, because we're thinking of this in a striking manner, not in a jiu-jitsu manner where we have grips and collars and sleeves and things to hold and tug on. Now we're using this as a self-defense scenario, so we're on the wrist control, okay? I would, if you're gonna fail, most people are gonna fail on one of the earliest parts of this drill is getting off the hips and higher on the lats. If you catch yourself like, why can't I get this knee up? Because you're probably failing right here first. Because this angle here is what's going to help you really cut that angle and get high up on that armpit shoulder to get you break. Okay? Partner up, we'll come around, help you guys out. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So like, what you do today? So think of yourself as like, right now, initially think of yourself as like driving down the street, right? Anyone gets opposite. So, big face for there you go. You're trying to almost like you're not too much. Right there. So your office hips. Yeah. You're one control that posture. So he stands up. It's this. Yeah. But in this instance, now this leg kick really on it like this. There you go. This kick, because this takes over your shoulder and you're pushing these two together. Okay? Oh, yeah. Swing this over. Okay? Don't cross. Professor. This one striking straight down. This one down.
This is well endowed, man.
And you, like I said,
Having this stuff is everything. Wrist control.
or if I have to throw myself initially. Yeah, but then yes. Yeah.
always find myself down there.
Control the wrist.
Easy for me.
I don't really care what I would do if I was using it to keep the posture from just get under it. Like, so just like and just throw it down. Get underneath it, and then it helps me get this deeper next. Okay, so first it started shallow, and then as I come up, I was able to get out from here. This is when it's super crucial that you go heel behind posture to cover this shoulder. So again, with no hands, it should be hard for you.
So I'm gonna be
So
driving.
from here, I wouldn't have do this unless he stands. Because he doesn't stand posture. So again, towards this now, so I run towards the so just off first, and it helps you get under. And then it shoots forward. But see how like my heels almost touch it? Yes, that's what I want to see. Split your arm, chop it. So now yeah, this one, so just stay put right there. So I know I don't have the length to get to the back there, but I still want to drive this head to the mat this way. But that's the same concept, the same.
So get your pressure on the.
This one is pushing his head forward and down, and this one's just shooting. And you just get if you pick up and that one, but that is like that's chopped. So you has to drive towards the head. If it drives perpendicular to the spine, you'll be able to get a posture. Let's hear that mark on my spontaneous. Stopping at the posture. And the one rotates the shoulder out. Head over. Now there's no really
I felt like what your elbow was.
So from here, when you swing this over, and then this one does come down towards the head.
Double armbar.
This one so scissor motion, because this kind of still want to pinch, but keeping the same pressure with your yeah, so as soon as you start making that scissor with your legs, sense crossing them in their, they are intersecting, but they're not tension.
Yeah.
Because that opens things up. So you're just intersecting down, and then get your everything towards the ground so you can heel straight, heel down and hit that. So that's it. Just go this line.
Even if you want to waste for calipers.
Yeah. Yeah, here, brother. Okay.
7 o'clock, you guys are free to go.
She didn't call herself a landlord. It's a land person.
You either moving? Next time we go receive the music.
You're close. Finish up your rep, guys, and we'll move on. Everyone that's leaving is off the mats, okay? Alright. Okay.
I just saw someone like stealing kids' chickens. I was like, oh man.
So I'll take Steve later.
I'll send that tonight. I'll make it.